World Drum Club. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Museday. I'm Kalani, your host here on World Drum Club. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I see Roseanne's here. Cornelius was early. Alex is here. Lacey's here. Rebecca. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for dropping in. Who else is here? The music is here. All right. You guys enjoy? I invite you to hum along, sing along, groove along, do whatever you want to do. This is for you, for your enjoyment. right. Welcome back, everybody. That was pretty fun. I don't know what's going on. How are you guys? Annette's here. Bill is here. Welcome, you guys. Oh, it's not. It's Anna-Miki. Anna Mikey? Anna Mikey. You got to sound it out, and I'll get it. Welcome, you guys. Welcome back. I am going to make a left turn on the theme today. I decided, what was the theme I put on the, something about threes, because it's episode 33. And I thought, well, that's kind of an auspicious number. Maybe we'll do something with threes. And I'm sure we will. However, I was in the music mindfulness mood. So today we're going to do a little bit on music mindfulness. And in case you guys didn't know, I have a whole series and a whole body of work that I do on mindfulness and now music mindfulness, because I think as a musician, and I'm talking about all of us, but I'll just speak for myself right now. I don't want to speak for you guys. But my experience as a musician, I think it informs a very stout and deep mindfulness practice. And why do I say that? Because I've studied mindfulness from, a variety of teachers. And also something else that we should all do, which is do it for ourselves and learn and teach ourselves about what it is and how we relate to that idea. All right, Anna-Mika, awesome. I think I got it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that as musicians, because we focus on the study of listening and the practice of paying attention and awareness of ourselves and of others, our surroundings, and also improvisation, and as a result of that practice, of the improvisation practice, I feel like, and this is, again, my own experience, that I have become very flexible and very accepting of what happens, right? Now, I'm not saying, don't confuse that with complacency. Somebody might be thinking, well, you can't just accept everything and roll over. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about accepting whatever happens and then starting from there. Like if you have a situation, and you often do, for example, that doesn't meet your expectations. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever arrived at a point in your life or in your day where things didn't match what you thought they were going to be? So what I'm talking about is that kind of situation, unmet expectations, which, by the way, the Buddha reportedly said that is one of the roots of suffering, unmet expectations. So that's kind of big with me. I try to keep that in mind. Yes, it's okay to achieve and try and seek and, try to do things, but also we need to marry that attitude of achievement and having expectations with the fluidity and acceptance that things don't always match our expectations, and we can start from that point. And I feel like music making has really taught me that lesson. And not just a lesson that is intellectualizable, but one that we experience over and over, mainly through improvisation, but any kind of music making and anything we do that's creative, because the root of creativity is experimentation, and it's a very in the now kind of experience. And we're doing things. It's not a thinking experience. It's a doing and experimenting and being present and being in the world and incorporating, everything that is. So in a little bit, I'm going to just give you guys a rundown of what my particular take on this music mindfulness is. And I'm not claiming to own music or mindfulness, but music mindfulness is something I've been working on a number of years. I have some videos and podcasts about that. Go to kalanidas.com if you're interested in that work. And I've got some podcasts that go back pretty far, a few years, and some videos that I've done recently. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, which maybe you are, maybe you're not. It's okay, either way. But check that out. All right, you guys, I have to find a guess the sound instrument because I didn't do that. I didn't do that yet. I did think about one, which I'm going to grab right now, and then we're going to do that. All right. So let's do it. I'm going to get my keyboard here and go to the next thing. I think it's right here. All right. Let's do this.
Guess the sound.
Okay, are we broadcasting? This should be easy, you guys. This should be pretty easy. Okay. What is it? And look, you get bonus points if you can be specific. I know some of you guys are like, it's an instrument. See if you can be specific. If you've been watching the channel, you should have a good idea of what this is. All right, what is it? All right, I see kalimba. It's not a kalimba, although that's a good guess. Handpan, not really. It's not a paiste gong. Yeah, I'll show you guys the kalimba because I have one right here. All right, Catherine says thumb drum. Here's the kalimba. Here's what the kalimba sounds like. All right, that's this little guy. Let me put it over in the side view. That's the kalimba, right? Oh, wait, you can't see it, sorry. Let me, oh, there it is. I forgot to move the question marks. All right, let me get rid of those. Here, this is the kalimba. And, the cool thing is if you put it on something, it's super loud. Press it up against this box. All right, so that's the kalimba. So that's not what we have. We have something else. What is it? Steel drum? No, not really. The handpan actually here, which is called this is the space drum by Metal Sounds, but usually called a handpan. That is like a steel drum. Catherine says tongue drum. I could accept that, but can you be a little more specific? Because the reason I'm asking is because this is a tongue drum over here. Right? That is a tongue drum. So maybe there's a different type. We're zeroing in. I think Roseanne is like biting her tongue right now. I think she's like, I want to type it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let somebody else type it. What do you guys think? It's not the Koshi chime. This is the Koshi chime right here. It's like a chime, like a wind chime. All very similar, you guys. Okay, Catherine, I'm going to accept that. Steel tongue drum. All right. This is what it is, you guys. It's the little guy. Where's my camera? Here. Right? Roseanne is like, yes. This is the little one. The little, it's called the little baby Zenko. It's a Zenko drum, made by the same company as this, the handpan here. And yeah, sounds like that. So we sometimes call these tank drums. That's another main category, only because the originals, reportedly, were made from like the I don't want to say the top or the bottom part of a tank, like an oxygen tank or whatever a tank for gas, like propane tank or something, and they would, you know, cut it and use that rounded top of the tank, and then put the put these. Let me see. I keep pressing the wrong camera. They put these cuts in it and made different notes, right? So that's the tank drum. Of course, you can tell this is not made from a tank. This is its own thing, very, you know, very nicely made. So that's that. And I can appear over here, you guys. Look at that. 2 places at once. Okay, so that's the tank drum, tank drum, steel tongue drum. Some people call these, and of course there's different types of these around, and different brands, different versions of that. But that's basically what it is. Yeah. So today, and so Catherine came up with the answer, and Roseanne was withholding the answer. So you're both winners. All right. Yes, Cornelius, it is an instrument. You were right. So if you said instrument, you were all correct. By the way, don't these sound amazing? Aren't these awesome? It reminds me of, like, I don't know why, but these remind me of like the beach, and I feel like, you know, it's like the sound that you would hear if you saw a bunch of crabs walking or something. But I like these are just these, I'll show them over here since I keep pressing that camera. They're just like these sea pods, you know, and they've made them into this ankle. You can wear this around your ankle, and dancers would wear these, you know. It's loud. It's very loud. And then, so I like that one. And then this one over here, the little babies. These are nice. Same type of thing. And you can play the instruments with them. See, you guys, we're learning stuff. Yes, Bill points out that before you go cutting into a tank to make a tank drum, take the propane out, or oxygen, or anything else that might be explosive. All right. Yes, and as Roseanne is saying in the comments, keep all these in mind for Gimme 5. These are kind of what we have to choose from today. Also, of course, the Native American style flute, which I'm fond of, which we have. And these are all in D minor today. We're in a D minor mode because they all match. And I know Roseanne was at the live stream we did over the weekend on Sunday with Jewel Adara and our friends at We Play Well Together. So giving them a shout out, weplaywelltogether.com. They're friends of the channel and support this broadcast, the Tuesday Musedays, and other content on World Drum Club, so we appreciate them. By the way, before I forget, because I often do, I want to just hit you guys up for a minute, and I want to talk about supporting the channel. So sorry for the infomercial, but we're going to get a little infomercial right now. And I just want to ask you guys, if you get any value from the Tuesday Musedays or any of the videos on World Drum Club, and you haven't already become a supporter, please consider it, because we are community supported. I know there's some ads on these videos, but if you guys do some research and see how many views you have to get on a video before you really get any money from YouTube, from Google, it's a lot. So if you think, oh, Kalani, or there's ads, he's getting money. Not really. It's a little tiny trickle. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but that's not supporting the channel. What is supporting the channel are people. like you guys who appreciate the content. And I mean, just think of it like if this was a live situation right now, we were all in the same room and there was a little basket over on the table and it was like, leave a tip, leave what you want. My question to you is it worth $1, for this whole hour show? Is it worth $1, that you'd probably tip way more than that just if you go get a coffee or something, And if the answer is yes, I would put $1 in the basket or whatever. If I was in the room and Kalani did all this stuff for me and I got all this information, I was, inspired with music and all this stuff. If the answer is yes, then join us at Patreon. Become a patron. $5 a month. And there's 4 or 5 weeks in a month. So there you go. And that would be like, just supporting the channel in general. And then if you guys really want to get into learning and having the courses available to you and doing some of our Zoom events and doing a little more, and stepping it up and support the channel more, which many people do, then join at the courses tier. And I do special content for the courses level people, as they know, because some of them are watching right now. Some of them are here. But if you guys are watching or you're tuning in every week, please, consider joining at Patreon. And I'll make you feel a little guilty right now because if you guys aren't chipping in, other people are. So they're carrying you. They're paying and you guys are not chipping in. If you get value out of it, if it's something you value, just have a reciprocal relationship. That's all. I'm going to stop talking about it. But I do want to invite you because every month we have a few new people that join, but every month there's a few people that let their memberships expire. So since the peak of the pandemic, we've been on a downtrend, I hate to say, and we've been trying to ramp it up and I've been doing more and more and more. So I want to bug you guys a little bit because like you deserve to be compensated, I do too. And this is how we do it. This is the business model right here. I give you guys everything up front and then you decide, oh, that was nice. I like that. Okay, here. That's how that works. So you get the product first. All right, let's go on and see what I have in store. But I do want to keep track of time. Okay, we're good. We're just over a little halfway through. Before we get to Gimme 5, which we will get to, it's coming up, I want to invite you guys to think of some questions and give me any questions you have about what's happening right here. If you have any big answer questions, see me at Patreon. That's what that's for, and you can message me over there. But if there's anything just like here right now you have any questions about, let me know. And while that's happening, while you get your questions together, think about your Gimme 5 selections, and Roseanne will leave the instructions for Gimme 5. You guys know, many of you know because you've been here week after week, and that is you choose 5 things, 5 instruments, and then I do the live looping at the end with those 5 things. And remember, you can also dedicate it to somebody or a cause or, whatever. Just if you want to dedicate it, you can do that. And if you'd like to suggest like a style or a tempo or a vibe or whatever, any additional info, just put it in a request, put it in a post. But don't do that yet. Just think about it. And then when it's time, right after this next thing I'm going to do, then we'll get all your Gimme 5 suggestions. All right? For right now, we're doing questions, and I want to go to the next slide, wherever it is. Is it here? Because I want to talk about what I call music mindfulness. So let me go to this slide. And this is just a little structure that I came up with. And if you want to learn more, go watch some of the videos that I have on Kalani Das, on the Kalani Das channel and at kalanidas.com. And this is if you're interested in this kind of mindfulness idea. Before I get to this, I will answer Cornelius's question, or 2 questions. We have Lacey. Do you have a gong? I do. I have several gongs, and I have videos on those on the channel. So search for gong. I did a 3 gong comparison video. It's pretty good. And I also have some other videos where I play the gongs and I do sound effects on them. Oh yeah, Bill. Bill said Corvettes are expensive. Yes, they are. I'm restoring a 1971 Corvette, you guys, and it's costing me a lot, especially after the pandemic. Oh my God, all these prices of everything just shot up. So as if it wasn't expensive already, and I'm doing it myself. Like I'm just trying to pay for these parts, and they are expensive. But that's not a sob story. It's just a hobby, So, although stepchildren are expensive, and wives can occasionally be expensive. That sounds terrible. I'm just saying, being married, anybody who's married with a mortgage and a garden and a house and too many cars, yeah, it's all expensive. But we all have expenses, so that's fine. How big is your studio room? Cornelius is asking. It's not that big. So I'm in like the back half, I want to say, of my 2-car garage. That's my studio room. And it goes like this way, side to side. It's about 9 by 17, I think. 9 by 17, 9 by 18, something like that. It's pretty tight. It's big enough for me and maybe one other person. All right. And Catherine asked for starter looper recommendation. Let me answer that question when I get done with this. I'm going to talk about music mindfulness really quick, you guys. So what it's about, and what a lot of my teachings on the mindfulness end of things are about, is learning how to manage your thoughts. In other words, learning how to have a good relationship with your brain and understand that your mind is it's a tool, right? It's an organ in your body. It has a role. It does things. It's good. It's trying to figure out problems for you is what it is. That's a short answer. It's not great at other things like ever stopping and resting, because it's always trying to figure out what's the problem, what's the puzzle. We love puzzles, you guys. Humans have thrived and survived throughout the millennia because we're good at figuring stuff out, right? We're creative. We solve situations. Our mind is like our survival tool, right? We all know that. No claws, no scales. We're not tough. We can't fight other animals, but we can outthink them. And sometimes we outthink ourselves. So we know that. The problem is, or the challenge is, of course, and a lot of people have talked about this, is that we get consumed with ruminative thinking, perseverative thinking, and ruminating, and we think that we can think ourselves into any state or out of any situation, and that is really a mistake in managing our thoughts. Your thoughts need to be managed. You have to understand what they're good for, what they're not good for, how your kind of brain works, and you have a good relationship with your brain. But that means kind of getting it under control, all right? That's all I'm going to say about that. The U in music is to retain and develop and retain an unbiased perspective. And I was alluding to that earlier when I was talking about improvisation and accepting what is, right? Let's quote our friend Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who passed away a couple years ago. And one of his sayings was, the world is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. And the evidence of that is that it is, right? So that was his argument. It's just like, yeah, everything's supposed to be exactly like this because it is like this. I rest my case. All right, but having an unbiased perspective means knowing that we have biases, knowing that we have filters, knowing that we look at things through our different lenses, and being aware of that, and then accepting what is, so that we're not upset about the way things are all the time, and just understanding that. And it doesn't mean we give up or we don't strive or we don't try or we don't try to achieve things. It means accepting the way things are, and that is a big relief, you guys. The S in music is for having sensational experiences, and I say that as a kind of double entendre. Sensational as in fantastic, but sensational as in sensory based. We live in this physical world. I believe in rooting into our physicality to help ground us. A lot of practices do that. You'll notice that a lot of yoga, mindfulness, / meditation practices are about focusing on your breath. That's why. Because when you focus on your breath, you're focusing on something very physical and very intimate and very in the moment. So it brings you into your body, and anything you can do, and a lot of mindfulness teachers talk about this, it's about tasting, the food you're eating. It's about feeling the sensations of, wherever you are, the wind, the air on your skin, being not distracted in your mind, but being present and tuning into your senses. We experience our lives through our senses. We experience our imaginary lives in our heads, in our brains. Okay, that's not real, right? You can imagine things. It's fun. We all do it. But that's not reality. So reality is really, if you want to feel grounded, then, that's what we do. We have a sensational orientation in both senses of the word. The I in music is to identify your values. This is super important. There's no one way to live and be happy and be content and have serenity. There's no one program or formula, even though there's a lot of people out there that tell you that they have the one answer. And if you just do what they're doing, buy their book, go to their seminar, go to this, go to that, be part of their group, that they have all that answers. They have the answers for you. The reality is, it's a personal, you got to figure it out for yourself. You have to figure out what works for you. And sure, try things out, read books, go to different things, check it out. But ultimately, you're a unique individual, and you have your own values. You have things that make you happy, things you're passionate about, things that are important to you, and just go with that. And you don't have to do what everyone else is doing, or even what I'm saying right now. You could say, forget it. But identify your own values and then create opportunities based on those values. And when I say create opportunities, I just mean that. Create by taking the time, blocking off. It kind of talking about a little bit right now. I'm talking about boundary setting and also creating the opportunity. Don't wait for other people to deliver things to you the way you want them, Go get it, you guys. Create the opportunities to express yourself through that based on the values that you identify. I like to feel good. I like to laugh. I like good food. I like making music, so I'm going to create opportunities to do those things. I also like driving cars. I like working on cars, so in my life, in what I do, my certain style of living, those are my values, so those are things I'm going to work on and do. All right. We have a couple other questions, and then we're going to get into the Gimme 5 zone, you guys. So start putting your Gimme 5s down. I want to answer the other questions. So Catherine, as a starter looper recommendation, so I just did a video, and I posted it. I believe it's on the main channel, but if it's not, it's on the Patreon, on a looper pedal. I would just recommend any looper pedal as a starter. You can get them now very cheap. There's a zillion of them now. Then there's some that are like 35, 40 bucks. I would just get a looper pedal, a simple looper pedal that you can step on as like one button, maybe a volume knob, and just start there. So you can start to practice. You get the hang of it. That's what I did. I started with one called the Jam Man. I actually have another Jam Man, but I use it for playing back tracks, and so you can use looper pedals for that too. And then I got an RC505 loop station, but I wouldn't recommend necessarily starting with a multi-track loop station. You can also practice looping with software. So if you have an iPad, iPhone, computer, or any other kind of computer that has recording software, sometimes you can just use that as a looper. So I would not focus so much on the actual product, focus on the process of looping. And there's different things you can use to do that, and then get your feet wet, get into it, kind of understand what it is, and then invest in the whatever gear fits your particular style and your goals, and how you're going to use it. All right, Alex has a question. Do you know what is that? I don't know what that is, so I guess I don't. Alex? Can you put some details or put a link or something about that instrument? And Rebecca wants to know where I get the pod shakers. Are you talking about these? Yeah, these. You guys, I've bought so much stuff over the years from different places. I do have a few recommendations for this type of stuff. There's local in LA, Motherland Music. Our friend Dan Rice is the owner. Motherland Music is a good resource. Lark in the Morning, I send people there for eclectic instruments. They have a lot of different things. Steve Weiss Music online, they're more of an online or mail order. They have eclectic things. They might have things like this. African Rhythm Traders has stuff like this. Let's see. I think if I can think of more, I will let you guys know, but that'll get you started. And I don't know who has what these days, you know. But I've been collecting this stuff for years, a lot of years. So things have changed a lot over the last few years, but there should be more available online now than there used to be. So we used to have to go out and get them physically, you know. Okay. What is that about the monkey balls? I don't know if those are the brass monkey balls. I don't know if those are nearby. Let me see. And now some people are like, what? What? Let me see if they're around here. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if yeah. Sometimes I keep stuff right there, but I don't know where they are at the moment. So, sorry. Got to choose from other stuff. Let me give you a few choices. I do have a Kashishi, of course. We got the pod rattles. We've got egg shaker clusters. I love this one on the little stick. We got that. Some stuff back here I could feasibly use, but I'd prefer to stick with what I have in my setup. I've got a lot of stuff here already. There is a conga drum over here. The hand pan, of course. And then over here, tongue drum, kalimba, koshi chime, baby zenko, the little one. And then, of course, this is the Monolini little monochord. And this can be played in a lot of different ways. You can pluck it. You can even hit it with mallets. So in that way, it's almost like a dulcimer or something. And then I have my trusty cajon, which I always have here. All right, let me see. Any call? Last call for Give Me 5. And, Rosanna's saying about some similar seed pod shakers from Amazon, but if you can buy them from a local music shop, that would be nice. It would. Yeah, I would try to support the local craftspeople, not just craftspeople, but the store owners, the people who source out all this stuff and, you know, have it so you can buy it. I try to support those folks because, I mean, they're really doing a big service to the community because it is hard to find this stuff, and a lot of people develop their connections overseas, around the world. It takes a lot of years and a lot of work to develop those connections, so we want to support those people, not just like find something and then go buy it, you know, from who knows who, who knows what. All right, so we have a few, and John Paul is here, welcome. So I'm going to wait a second, and while I clear the looper out, I'll wait and then wait for Roseanne to choose the Gimme Fiver. Now, while that's happening, yeah, I'm going to erase everything I had put in the looper. I also want to let you guys know I just posted, and if you're subscribed to the channel and you've hit the bell, you should know this, but maybe you haven't subscribed or hit the bell. I just posted 3 videos today. And those videos relate to looping and recording because each one is on a different subject that has to do with audio, recording, and editing. I did one on EQ, right, or changing the presence of different frequencies in from the mic into the recorder, or when you edit, if you do edit in your computer, you can EQ things. I did one on a compressor limiter. A compressor is a tool or a filter that we use to bring more presence to sounds, and it can make your sounds a little punchier, and you get more consistent volume when you use a compressor. I also did one on a noise gate, which is a kind of filter that sort of closes down the sound so that you don't have as much background sound. And I'm using one right now. I use one when I do this show. So if I stop talking, you'll notice that the sound goes all the way down to 0. So there's a little fade out. And that's another tool. So I did 3 different videos on each one of those things. So if you get into recording or you get into looping, and you want to get the best sound possible, and you have the equipment to do that, which if you have a mixer, you could, or if you're using software-based recording things like your computer or an iPad, they have that stuff in them too. So it's more available than you might think, and it's not that hard to use these tools. And those are all tools that are aimed at just making your sound crisp, clear, punchy, and clean. I don't know what that sounds like an ad for, but some product. We're going to make you crisp, clear, punchy, and clean. It sounds like a good set of characteristics, doesn't it? All right. What do we have? Do we have a gimme fiver? I'm also aware, you guys, I try to be aware of people that might only be listening to the Tuesday Musedays, because I did set these up as a podcast, which I don't know if that's happening or not, but I tried to set it up as a podcast for YouTube. And also we have some fans who are blind or they don't see well, and so they're listening, and I try to do my best. So if that's you and you're listening, I just know that I'm thinking about you, and I'm trying to serve the blind community as best I can, because I know we do have some fans out there that are blind, and I've talked to some, and I've gotten messages from some of you folks, and just want to know I'm doing my best to be inclusive and descriptive and everything. So even if you can't see the program or you're listening to it as a podcast, hopefully I'm keeping you up to speed, so to speak. All right. We've got a Gimme 5, and it's, Bill, okay. Seed pods, mini tank drum, flute, wooden tongue drum, and kalimba. Okay, so a lot of the smaller stuff. Let me bring a couple things in so I can, I got a flute, I have a flute stand right on the floor here, so I want to use that. And maybe I can bring something over onto my lap. And we have the mini. Did you guys hear that motorcycle? I'm right by the road. I am in my garage, so we get auto noises. All right, let me see again. So the mini, are you talking about these? The little ones, right? Listen to those. How sweet is that? I'll use them all. Okay. Seed pods, mini tank, flute, wood tongue drum, and kalimba. And I'm going to, let me show you one thing, you guys. When you use the kalimba, now this is a solid wood kalimba. Some kalimbas are in and of themselves a resonation chamber, but this one's not. It's solid. So it does sound good on its own, but check this out. This instrument here is a box, right? It's a hollow box. So if I put the kalimba on it and I press, I can even put it flat. Whoa. That is amazing. It's amazing how much louder it gets, right? Because here it is off. It's like at least twice as loud, and it sounds better. It sounds more full. I love that it has this like dominant seventh sound. Okay, and let me get a rhythm vibe. I'm going to turn the rhythm off so only I can hear it. And let's see. What am I feeling? Oh, maybe something in 3. Ugh. Then I have to change. Then I have to change my beat, but I'm going to do it. What if I do 9/8? How about 9/8, you guys? 9/8 is 3 3s, right? Which is today's episode, number 33. See? I did it. I'm working it. I'm trying to work in these numbers. All right, 9/8. Let me see. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to speed it up a little. I like that. So now it's a 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's what's going on in my ears, just so you guys know. Okay, here we go. I'm going to. Maybe I'll start with this side. Let's see what we can do with a lawnmower guy outside. This is why we have. This is why we use noise gates. All right, let's see what we can do here. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. It's been fun. Thanks to Bill for the Gimme 5, which turned into Gimme 9. 9 beats. Don't you guys love this? 9/8. I love this. It's like a 1, 2, 3. It's a 3 threes. 2, 3. On our 33rd episode of Tuesday Museday. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. I'm going to let this play a little bit. As always, great to see you all. I'll see you at patreon.com/Kalani. Blessings to all and all of our friends who can't be here with us. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
World Drum Club.